Hi, welcome to the Art of Yoga with Cat Justice, and this is the second session in my beginning yoga series. This is Lotus the cat. Meow, hello. She loves yoga. So week 2 or session 2, however you want to think of it, hopefully you've done session 1 about 5 or 6 times at least, and you feel confident with all of those practices and ready to move forward. So let's get started. So you can come into any comfortable seated position. It's often nice to have some support under your hips with some folded blankets, or even sitting in a chair is just fine. And as you come to whatever comfortable seated position you find yourself in, go ahead, bring the palms of your hands to touch, and then let your thumbs lightly, gently rest on your heart. From here, go ahead, close your eyes, and you're just going to feel that gentle contact, palm to palm and thumbs to heart. And from here, bringing your awareness to your breathing, just let your breath be slow and steady. And the word yoga is a Sanskrit word meaning union. So as we feel that sense of contact between our sternum and our thumbs, between one palm to the other, we're going to feel that sense of joining together, or union. You can think of it as union of breath and movement, union of mind, of body, of spirit, of mind and heart, our thoughts, our emotions. You can think of it as connecting with your deepest, truest self, finding union with yourself. Lots of ways to think of it. And then we're going to gently open our eyes. And then from here, go ahead, inhale, circle the arms out to your sides. And then exhale, gently bring the thumbs back to your heart. We're just going to take this movement here. Inhaling to circle up. Exhaling, bringing the hands back down. Following the breath. And we're going to keep thinking about the philosophical side of yoga and the yamas, or the restraints. And another yama that we're going to think about is asteya, or non-stealing. And aparigraha, which is non-greed. Both asteya and aparigraha have to do with the ability to let go of things that are not ours, let go of things that we don't need. Go ahead, reverse direction of your arms. You're going to inhale up and exhale, gently circle back. You can think of what are things that you can let go of, what are things that don't really belong to you. It can be literal, it can be metaphysical. I always, again, I know I did in the first video, but I like to give homage to the fact that as a Caucasian white person practicing and teaching yoga, that I want to honor the roots of the tradition and make note of that they're not my own. Trying to avoid that sense of appropriating this for my own greed, and thinking of it as offering it up, giving it away to other people, and knowing that on some level this will always be a beginning practice for me, and that's okay. And on the next exhale, go ahead, take the hands back to the heart, and then from here we are going to move on to hands and knees. And if your knees are sensitive, feel free to grab a blanket and fold it under your knees for extra support. You're going to spread your fingers nice and wide, feel the palms of your hands grounding, and we're going to move through our good old friends cat and cow that we practiced last time. So you're going to exhale, round through your back, drop your head, inhale, gently arch, and just staying in that comfortable range of motion. So still practicing ahimsa, still practicing satya. Let your breath lead, let your body follow, find that union of breath and movement. And then exhale, find your way back to child's pose. Let your hips sink back towards your heels and relax down. And again, you can do any of those variations. Arms can be forward, folded under your head. You can fold one fist on the other, rest your head on your fists. The arms can also be back at your sides if that's more comfortable. And as you breathe into your back, again, think of using your breath almost like a massage, working out any aches or pains in your back, gently stretching on the inhale, softening on the exhale. And then from here, go ahead and reach your hands forward, spread your fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes under, and you're going to lift from your hips. Draw your weight off your arms and exhale to come up into downward facing dog. If your hamstrings are tight, your knees are going to be bent, and that is great. Keeping the knees bent so that you can keep your back long and straight is a really nice way of practicing. If you have the hamstring flexibility for straight legs, that's fine too. But most beginners, most people new to yoga don't have that flexibility, so a little bend in the knees is just fine. And then from here, you're just going to walk the feet in place a little more. So you accentuate the bend in one knee as you reach the opposite heel down, just kind of working into the soles of the feet. If you need a break, go ahead and take it. You can always come back to child's pose. It's like a little home base. And then from here, just gently reach both heels towards the earth, but again, knees can stay bent. On an exhale, gently lower, hello kitty, to hands and knees. And now we're going to build into plank pose. Go ahead, reach your right leg back, tuck the toes, feel your heel reaching back but also lifting up slightly. As the heel reaches up, feel all that strength coming into that right leg as it reaches back, having less and less weight on that left knee. You can stay right here. This can be your plank, or if it feels comfortable, to take the left knee back, feel free, but nothing else moves. Breathing here. One thing we're going to practice here in plank is brahmacharya, or conscious placement of energy. That is not literally what that word means. Go ahead, take your right knee down for a breath, just to take a break. Reach through the heel. Brahmacharya means walk like a Brahmin, or the Brahmins were a sect of Hinduism that practiced divine conduct, one of the elements of which was chastity. But when we think of brahmacharya meaning chastity, a lot of people in our culture don't like that. Go ahead, reach through the heel, lifting up, draw the belly in, finding plank for a breath or two. So I'll let you decide how you want to practice brahmacharya in your life. I do not practice celibacy personally. I have 3 children. Breathing here. But if you think of conscious placement of energy, that you're choosing where to put your energy and choosing to put it in places that feel like they're going to align you with divine conduct, that, in my opinion, is one way to practice brahmacharya. And we're going to exhale and come all the way down. Woo! Knees, chest, and chin. Thank you, brahmacharya. From there, take the hands right under your shoulders, point through the toes, reach and lengthen your body. Don't worry about lifting, think about lengthening for cobra pose. The shoulders pull away from the ears. Make sure you're breathing. Create space in the body. And then go ahead and come all the way on up onto your elbows. Taking a brief moment in Sphinx pose, pressing through your forearms, spread your fingers, ground your wrists, lift your heart. And then from here, lift from your hips, inhale, draw your weight up, come back up onto your hands and knees, and exhale, child's pose. And in child's pose, if your back feels a little sore or a little bit of unease in your back from those back bends, just really direct your breath to wherever that soreness might be living. Imagining that you could stretch and open any sore spots on the inhale, soften them back in on the exhale. And then reaching forward, spread the fingers, tuck the toes, and lifting on up, downward facing dog. And then from there, you're just very gently going to walk your hands up to your feet, feet hip distance apart, let the knees be bent, let your body hang. Bending as deep as you can through the knees. Push through your feet. Start to roll up through the spine, but keep your knees bent until the last moment. At the very top, add in another inhale to circle through the arms. And exhale, hands back to the heart. From here, go ahead and bring your feet to touch. Toes and heels touching, or maybe heels slightly apart, finding Tadasana, mountain pose. Feel the weight gently shift a little too far forward on your feet. Then feel it shift a little too far back on your feet. And see if you can find even weight front to back. And then same thing side to side. Shift the weight over to the outer right foot, inner left. And then inner right, outer left. Swing side to side and then try and find equilibrium. From here, as you feel that grounding through those four corners of your feet, again, where you'd have roller skates, wheels, or tires of a car. Now you're going to go ahead and lift up all 10 toes and feel how when your toes lift off the ground, how the arches of your feet lift slightly. But also feel how if you totally lifted your arches, you would lose that grounding through the base of the big toe. So this is, I know it's the second video, but this is a very advanced technique to be able to feel that grounding through the base of your big toe and soften your toes back down, but still feel that hint of a lift through your arches. And as the arches lift, you're going to feel that strength coming all the way up through the arches of the feet, through your thighs, the groin, the pelvic floor, and those deep abdominal muscles of the belly. And so we're feeling that strength and support, but without locking into it, without bracing the body. All that strength from the bottom so that at the top we don't need to work hard. You can let shoulders relax, jaw, throat, all of that go. And then from here, we're going to come back to those arm circles we did at the start, just for a few rounds. Inhale, let's go straight up. Exhale, circling back. Soft shoulders, strong legs. Inhale and exhale. Once more, inhale and exhale. Other direction, inhaling out and up, exhaling back and down. Inhale, union of breath and movement, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. From here, go ahead and we're going to sit back into chair pose. Sit back through the hips. Let's reach the arms straight forward for a counterbalance. And you should be able to glance down and see almost your entire feet, or feet, both feet between your, in front of your knees. So what we don't want is that bend in the knees. We want the bend actually happening in the hips, and the knees just bend in response. When we sit back through the hips, then we need to engage some deep core muscles in the belly to help give us support. And then from here, go ahead, take your hands to your hips, and you're going to shift your weight over onto that right leg as you slowly step the left foot back for a warrior one. Bending through the front knee until you can just see the big toe to the inside of the knee. The back foot is going to angle mostly forward, and then your hip is going to follow along that pinky toe. And we'll inhale, reach the arms on up to the sky. Warrior one. Stay connected to your breath and see if you can feel that same sense of rooting and grounding through the four corners of the feet. Maybe that hint of lift through the arches. And as you exhale, go ahead, take the hands back to the heart, sit back through the hip, engage the belly, and slowly step forward back into chair. We'll take the other side. You can sit back into chair if you're still catching up. Shift the weight to the left foot and slowly, with control if you can, step the right foot back. And then take the hands to the hips to get the feet lined up, heel to heel alignment, or maybe even a little wider in the feet. Bend your front knee until you can see your big toe to the inside of the knee. Back foot angles mostly forward. The hip follows the pinky toe. And inhale, arms reach up. Breathing here. Soften the face, the throat. Easy reach through the arms. The arms are reaching but without tension, without pushing. And then exhale, reaching forward, sit back through that left hip. Shift the weight and come back into chair. And then inhale, circle through the arms, coming back up. And exhale, hands to the heart. From here, shift the weight again to the right foot, and we'll step the left foot back now for warrior two. Feet are going to now line up heel to arch. You're going to bend your front knee until you can just see the big toe. And the hips are going to now kind of open, that sensation of opening like a book. Arms float just at shoulder level. Again, thinking of union, of yoga, of creating this state of balance, noticing if we're pulling too far forward or too far back, try and find that hips right over, or shoulders right over hips. And then, hello kitty, what you knocking down? And then you can take the left hand to the leg, right arm's going to lift up for a reverse warrior, opening and stretching into the waist, the ribs. That front knee stays bent. Soften through the back arm. You can gaze down to that back heel, or if it feels better, you can gaze up to the top hand, whatever your neck prefers. And then shift the weight forward again and come back to mountain pose. And we'll take the other side. From here, shift the weight to the left foot and step the right leg back. Heel to arch alignment. Bend that front knee until you can see the big toe. Open through the hips and the arms float. Shoulders over hips, we often have this tendency to reach forward. It's another little moment of aparigraha, that idea of kind of grasping, of holding on to things. We're going to let them go. We're going to try and stay not reaching towards the future. Stay grounded in the present moment as best we can. And inhale, reverse warrior. Let the bottom arm relax down. Open and stretch through the ribs. Make sure that that front knee stays bent and aim it towards the pinky toe. You can look up, you can look down. And then from there, shift the weight back onto that left foot and step it forward, hands to the heart. From here, separate your feet hip distance. We're going to inhale, circle up through the arms, and exhale, forward fold. Let your body relax forward. And then from the forward fold, you're going to make your way back to your downward facing dog, bending your knees, pulling back through your hips. Relax the head. And then from here, coming all the way down to child's pose. Sitting back through the hips, resting the head down. And as always, you can have the arms forward or folded under your head for support. Taking a couple breaths here to really feel your breath again. Drop low in the body, into the lower back. And then as you're ready, you're going to come on up to seated. As you come to seated, if when you sit on the ground you feel like it's hard to keep your back upright, if your back sort of slumps because of tightness through the hamstrings and the backs of the thighs, it can be great to offer your body some support. So you can sit up. I think a folded blanket is usually a good option if you've got a fancy yoga bolster or couch cushion. Something that will support you and get you upright. Couch cushions, you don't want ones that are too squishy, so you want something fairly firm. That's why I think folded blankets are ideal. So you can offer yourself some support with that, but you're going to come to sit with your legs straight forward in front of you. From here, go ahead and draw the right foot up so that the inside of the right foot comes to the inside of the left thigh. And then we're going to have the hands gently behind our backs, lifting upright from here. Feel free to stay here, or if as you come forward you feel like you can keep your back flat. If the back starts to round, don't come forward. Just stay upright. Again, we're still practicing satya, that sense of truthfulness, ahimsa, non-harming, that we're not going to overstretch and weaken our back by rounding forward. We're going to stay upright. If it's comfortable to take the hands down the leg, that can be great. You can feel that deep stretch through the back of the thigh. Breathing here. And inhale to come back up, and we'll switch sides. So now the left foot is going to come to the inside of the right thigh. You're going to offer any support to your body that it needs. So maybe the hands are back at your hips. You're just hanging out here, lifting upright. Maybe the hands come to the leg, and you come forward slightly. But just think about staying long through the body, crown of the head to the base of the spine. Slow your breathing down. And inhale to come back up. And now you're going to take your legs into a wide V shape. From the V, you're going to inhale, lift up, and exhale again, if it's available to you, shifting forward. Open angle, Upta Vishta Konasana. The spine is long, and again, you might not come forward very far. Maybe you're leaning back. It's just fine. We're meeting ourselves where we're at. Nothing forced. Should feel a deep but comfortable stretch, maybe through the backs of the legs, maybe through the inner thigh and groin area. And then inhale as you come upright again. And then from here, same idea, but now we take the legs straight forward. Lifting tall, again, maybe support, maybe hands to the legs. Coming forward, we're just not coming forward through slumping, trying to force our head down to our legs. We're thinking of lifting upright, coming forward with a flat back. And that flat back might mean bend the knees a little too. That's always okay. Inhale to come back up. And then from here, we're going to come back onto our backs, back onto our back. So you can go ahead and roll on down. Plant your feet right under your hips, arms at your sides. And we're just going to roll up and down the spine a couple of times to get the back kind of ready for bridge pose. So on an inhale, you're just going to gently curl the tailbone under, lift through the hips any amount. Exhale, gently roll back down. We're trying to find that vertebra by vertebra motion. Like we could lift our vertebrae like pearls on a string, one at a time. Rolling up, exhaling to roll down. Take it once more through. And as you roll down this last time, go ahead and plant the feet again. Re-root into your ground, into your core. And then inhale, lift on up, and this time we're going to hold at the top. So as you hold bridge pose, notice if your knees start to splay to the sides and think of aiming them straight forward, like they're on railroad tracks. The arms can stay at your sides, or if it's available, you can kind of walk your shoulders under, scoot your arms under, maybe even interlace your hands underneath you. Relax through the face, the jaw. Don't turn your head left or right. The neck's in a pretty vulnerable position here. We just want to keep it supported. Feeling that awesome opening through the front of the body, the front of the hips. And then gently release back down, vertebra by vertebra, nice and slow. Once you reach the bottom, hug the knees, gently rock side to side. And place the feet on the floor. From here, step your hips over to the right, one little scoot, and let your knees roll to the left for just this nice relaxed twist. Arms open out. The knees can be separated or they can be together. You just want to make sure that both shoulders stay on the floor. So if that right shoulder starts lifting away from the floor, lift your knees until the shoulder can rest down. You can turn your head left or right or keep it halfway between. Breathing and opening into the twist. And gently bring the legs back up. We'll take the other side. Scoot the hips back to midline and then over to the left. We'll inhale, lift the feet, and exhale to twist. Any amount, keeping now the left shoulder on the ground. You can turn the head if that feels good. Slow your breathing down. Think about putting your breath low in the body, as if you could breathe all the way into your lower back or your pelvis. And then inhale, slowly bring the legs back up. Scoot the hips back to midline. And then from here we'll come into Shavasana, to our final relaxation pose. If you've got a pillow or some folded blankets for support, that might be nice to place that under your knees. From there, resting on your back, let the palms of your hands face up. Go ahead, close your eyes. And feel your body melt into the earth. Slow your breath down. With every exhale, feel your body soften and melt a little bit more into the floor. Using those exhales to let the tension melt out of your body. Paying particular attention to anywhere where you know you tend to hold tension in your body. Maybe the jaw, maybe the shoulders, maybe the lower back. You can also think about softening through the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Softening through the forehead, the temples. Softening through the floor of the mouth and the throat. The chest and the belly. The pelvis and the hips. And if you want a little longer, you can pause the video here. But once you're ready to start moving again, wiggling fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, just gently bring stretching, moving into the body. As you're ready, knees to chest, gently rock side to side. Rolling over to one side. Resting for a few breaths on your side. And as you're ready, coming back up to seated. Well, thank you so much for engaging with me in our second session of beginning yoga. Third session will be here in a few weeks. I hope you are safe and doing well and enjoying learning something new about yoga in your body and life. Namaste.